When looking at this question, we can see that we have sodium carbonate mixed with 10 water, and this means that it is a solution. The mass is 14.3 grams and the volume is 250 cubic centimeters. Our first step would be to calculate the molar mass of the entire solution. Sodium 23 times 2, carbon, oxygen, there's 3, 10 times 2 waters, and 10 times 16 for the oxygen. This gives us 286 grams per mole. Then we can calculate the number of moles. We know that the mass is 14.3. We just calculated the molecular mass 286. This gives us the number of moles. In order to find the concentration, we're using the formula C is equal to N over V. We have the value of the volume. However, it is in cubic centimeters. Remember, we work with cubic decimeters for concentration. So we must first convert the cubic centimeters to cubic decimeters. Once we have the value for the volume, we substitute into the equation. Number of moles 0.05, volume 0.25. This gives us a concentration of 0.2 moles per cubic decimeter. These questions are often difficult for students. As soon as they see a solution that where compound diluted into some water. Important to remember here is that this dot in the middle does not imply multiplication, but it implies addition. Students confuse this with normal mathematics, and in science the dot represents a plus. So we are saying sodium carbonate plus 10 parts of water. Also pay attention to unit conversion. This is where students lose marks. Try to teach students to use steps in solving problems and not to skip steps. Often mistakes are made in simple addition or multiplication. Rather, get students to work out each element individually and multiply by the number of atoms of that element as shown here in the brackets. This will ensure that students make fewer mistakes when calculating molar mass. What is important to be taught to students is that whenever they solve for a calculation where one answer is substituted and used in another calculation. For example, this 286 is used in this calculation. If they got this answer incorrect, this answer, if it is substituted correctly in this place, they will still receive that mark because of positive marking, because they will lose the mark here. This will ensure that students are not penalized more than once. This is the same for substituting the number of moles or the volume into concentration. If, for example, a student got the volume wrong, but they substituted the volume in the correct place, they would receive that mark and lose the mark for calculating the volume. This is known as positive marking. Please show all your students how to achieve the maximum number of marks. Pay attention to format. Always ask students to write the standard formula, substitute first, then manipulate, and then the answer. You can teach them this in 4 easy steps. 1. Formula. 2. Substitution. 3. Manipulation. And 4. Answer plus units.